The following is a presentation of the Big Ten Conference.
Winter has come here in Big Ten country, and these two great houses meet once again. The Nittany Lions of Penn State and the Golden Gophers of Minnesota.
Put your helmets on, strap up. We're taking every blade of grass, every yard. The time is now. The moment is right now. Go out there with the same excitement, same energy. We're coming back to this locker with a belt. Everybody, damn right.
Here he goes to the end zone. Touchdown, Penn State. Today, the throne is Huntington Bank Stadium in Minneapolis, Minnesota. And the game is the 17th all-time matchup for the victory bell between the Penn State Nittany Lions and the Golden Gophers of Minnesota. Welcome to Minnesota and the Home Depot Big Ten on CBS. The Golden Gophers on their home turf take on the Nittany Lions of Penn State, the number 4 team in the country, and Penn State has been perfect on the road so far this year. P.J. Fleck bringing them out. Here come the Gophers. As we take a look at the Big Ten standings, Ohio State took care of their business today against Indiana. So they're in the driver's seat to be with Oregon in the Big Ten championship game. But there's a but. Penn State still in the hunt. 6-1 and 9-1 overall. Welcome, everybody. I'm Brad Nessler with Gary Danielson, Jenny Dell, and Gene Steratore. That but is Ohio State. Should they lose to Michigan next week, then Penn State still in the driver's seat, but they got to start taking care of business right now.
November football games matter, especially for championships. Back to Minnesota and Mr. Nessler returning home to Minnesota. Balmy day for you.
Balmy day, but we're still wearing the big coats. Last week we saw Penn State demolish Purdue. Drew Aller in that game was almost perfect. 17 out of 19, 247 yards, 3 touchdowns. But we were impressed with their ground game and how they do it.
Balance is the word I say about this Penn State football team. Offense, defense, and within their offense, you mentioned Drew, but he's got some help. Their rushing attack, and it's not just one guy, Katron Allen. 2 veteran running backs with Singleton along with them, but also the twist of Tyler Warren lining back up in Wildcat or wherever else he lines up, and then the backup quarterback in Bo Prabula. This is a balanced team in every direction, and by the way, got a lot of really good players.
James Franklin thinks maybe their most complete game was that game last week. Minnesota, past years, we've always said, well, it's ground and pound. That's not the way it is this year. They got a quarterback right now that's really been impressive.
Absolutely. Max Brosmer has really come into the Big Ten, transfer from New Hampshire, but in this football game, he's going to need help to throw the ball, and if he gets it, Max Brosmer is going to put on, I think, a pretty good show. He's a beautiful thrower of the football, but he needs help from that offensive line because he's got a pretty good receiving core. This could be an interesting game because we've seen in the past, if you're going to knock off the big guys, you got to have a QB.
And they've got a good one in one of the captains today. All the seniors are captains on senior day. Ironically, a Minnesota native is part of the success for Penn State this year. With more on that, Jenny Dell.
Well, we're all products of where we come from, and for Penn State offensive coordinator Andy Kotelnicki, it's about an hour and a half west of here in a little place called Litchfield, Minnesota. Now, growing up in Minnesota, you learn very early on that hockey is life. So it wasn't until Coach was about 7 years old that his mom gifted him a white and blue football helmet that she found at a yard sale. What did he do with it? Well, he ran into some trees. He played some backyard games. Now, months later, he was reading the newspaper and for the first time saw Penn State's blue and white helmet, instantly becoming a fan. He went to college, he fell in love, and his girlfriend, now wife's first gift to him, a Penn State hat. So fast forward to this game, and it is a full circle matchup for this Nittany Lion loving Minnesota native, guys.
Boy, he's done a great job. So innovative with his play calling. And Penn State with just one blemish on their record. That was a loss to Ohio State. If they win today and they win against Maryland next week and Ohio State should slip up against Michigan, they'd be in the Big Ten title game. Minnesota won the toss and deferred. Max Brosmer, quite a leader for a guy that just showed up.
No doubt.
In 1 year, and he has taken this club and wrapped it around his fingers. For PJ Fleck, who says, I've never had a better leader than Max. PJ in his 8th year here in Minneapolis. James Franklin on the other side, his 11th year, closing in on 100 victories in Happy Valley, 121 wins overall in his career. As Gary said, balmy day for that guy anyway. 41 degrees. We have calm winds, and that's good news because yesterday it was whipping up pretty good, and that would cause havoc with the kicking game if nothing else. 17th meeting all time. Penn State owns it 10-6. Minnesota 5 years ago upset Penn State, and they were wearing the very same all maroon that they're decked out in today.
Ultimately, that game cost Penn State a chance to get into the playoffs, or what it was, Final Four years ago. That was a big loss for Penn State.
Dragan Kasic has got it underway for us from Minneapolis.